This is Stop 10 on the Regina Cyclone self-guided walking tour. The Regina Cyclone of 1912 was Canada's deadliest tornado, with 28 dead and 10% of the city's population left homeless. This tour will lead you through locations in Regina's downtown, starting from the Hotel Saskatchewan and continuing north through the downtown before completing the tour at Victoria Park. Along the way, you will learn about landmarks, both past and present, that mark impacted locations affected by the cyclone's destructive power. The next location on our tour is the Scarth Street Mall. We will also hear about the efforts in the immediate aftermath of the storm to minimize the loss of life and impose order in the face of chaos. The Princess Theatre was the first theatre to show a talking picture in Regina in 1927. The picture and sound left something to be desired. The building was constructed in 1911 and suffered damage in the 1912 cyclone. Scarth Street marked the edge of the debris field for the 1912 tornado. The funnels had plowed down Lorne and Scarth Streets, but for the most part anything east of Scarth and west of Albert was untouched. This included the Holy Rosary Cathedral, just under construction at the time, and the city's two hospitals. Aside from the main two paths of destruction, most of the 11th Avenue business corridor was able to resume business fairly quickly after the storm. Since Regina was still receiving shipments of goods as part of its role as a distribution center, it was important to impose law and order upon the community as quickly as possible after the storm. Troops from the 95th Saskatchewan Rifles at Camp Sewell east of Brandon were dispatched to impose law and order on the chaotic town. Major J.F.L. Embry and his troops arrived back and quickly began to aid in the relief efforts. Mayor Peter McCara, Jr. immediately canceled the Dominion Day holiday celebrations, closed all the bars, and requested that all able-bodied men report to clear debris. The Black Block, which was located east of the tornado's path, was designated as the official check-in station for survivors. This was vital because of the level of devastation in the residential areas. Desperate family members needed a way to connect with one another in a time before cell phones. In a world instantly connected by mobile devices and social media, it is hard to envision what this must have been like. There were newspapers and telephones in 1912, but there was no television. CBC Radio would not start broadcasting for another 24 years. News was not instantaneous, and in the case of a natural disaster, it would be days before worried family members in Toronto or Calgary would learn if their families were safe. Hundreds of telegrams in the City of Regina archives demonstrate the frantic efforts of relatives to verify their family's safety and security in the wake of the storm. In addition to the 28 people who were killed, Reginans faced over 300 injuries of varied severity. At least 2 deaths due to injuries sustained in the cyclone resulted in fatalities after the storm. So some estimates revised the official death count up to 30. Able-bodied men began looking for survivors immediately, guided by faint cries for help from the rubble. The telephone operators were rescued, unharmed, from the basement of the completely razed telephone exchange building on the corner of Lorne Street and 12th Avenue. Rescuers dug through the rubble with their bare hands, not bothering to wait until troops began arriving in the city from Camp Sewell. The Boy Scouts proved to be an invaluable resource during the early part of the rescue efforts. The troop varied messages, bringing would-be rescuers to the spots where trapped residents were frantically signaling for help. Mayor Peter McCara set up 5 emergency surgical stations around the city. This was necessary because debris blocked many routes to Regina's 2 hospitals. The Regina General Hospital, located on the city's east side at 1440 14th Avenue, had completed construction in 1911. This was the public hospital, operated by the City of Regina. The Grey Nuns Hospital was also safely out of the debris field at its location on the west side of the city on Dudney Avenue, between King and Pasqua Streets. The Grey Nuns Hospital would not officially be blessed until October of 1912, but it was pressed into service in June when the tornado struck. This hospital was operated by the Order of Grey Nuns, a Catholic nursing order. The next stop on our tour is Victoria Park, located between 11th and Victoria Avenues and Lorne and Scarth Streets. You can find the City of Regina on Twitter or Facebook, or visit regina.ca for more information about Regina, including more heritage and history content.